The future is now for the New Orleans Saints. Spencer Rattler has been named the starting quarterback for Week 6. Let's talk about it right here on the Straight Up Saints podcast.
You're listening to the Straight Up Saints podcast.
What is up, Who Dat Nation? Welcome back inside another edition of the Straight Up Saints podcast. I'm your host, Chris Rizvoglu, and as always, we're brought to you by Scott McNair. Injury lawyers have been injured in any kind of accident, car, truck, 18-wheeler, or hurt offshore. Scott McNair handles it all. You give him a call at 504-500-1111 for a free consultation. They'll always fight for the win. There's been a lot of uncertainty surrounding who the Saints will start now that Derek Carr is out for at least one, probably 2 games with an oblique injury. Would it be Jay Kaner? Would it be Spencer Rattler? And after Jay Kaner filled in on Monday night, some people may have thought that, that would be your presumed starter for Week 6, but not so fast, my friends, as Lee Corso loves to say. The Saints decided to go today with Spencer Rattler. Dennis Allen announced it today instead of, keeping his cards close to the vest and trying to have some gamesmanship. He goes out there and announces that it's going to be Spencer Rattler. The rookie will get the nod against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this Sunday, and I think it's absolutely the right move. I think for New Orleans, there's no question as to who has more upside between Rattler and Jay Kaner. Anyone who's watched the two would know that, whether it's watching their college careers or watching the preseason that just passed in August. Spencer Rattler has that zip. He just looks like a guy that if you can figure it all out, could become a starter in the NFL. And this might not go well. This could be a disaster Sunday, and we could talk about, he's just not ready for the moment yet. But I think for New Orleans right now, and Dennis Allen said it, they're playing who they believe gives them the best chance to win. And I think there's zero doubt that that's Spencer Rattler. It's not a knock on Jay Kaner. I just think when you look at Spencer Rattler, we're talking about a kid that was years removed from being considered a first-round pick. Now, there are other reasons outside of, character concerns why he didn't end up being a first-round pick. But I think the arm talent is definitely there. The ability to kind of move him out of the pocket, get him rolling out. I think that's going to be something that Clint Kubiak can use to his advantage on Sunday. And I think for New Orleans, a couple of short passes to Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, just get Spencer Rattler into rhythm. That can be really beneficial on Sunday against the Buccaneers. Now, doesn't mean it's going to be easy. Tampa Bay's defense gave Jaden Daniels some problems Week 1. If you want to look at what Todd Bowles does during rookie quarterbacks, and then if you want to go to Week 7, Broncos defense has been fantastic. That's actually been the reason why they're 3-2. It's not because of Bo Nix. It's not because of Sean Payton's offense. Their defense has been great. So Spencer Rattler is going to be tested early on if, let's say, he starts the next 2 games. Obviously, we know he's starting this Sunday. But I think this is going to be a fantastic test for the Saints, fantastic test for Spencer Rattler. How does he look? What if he does end up kind of rising up to the moment and looking like a guy that's capable of handling his own in this league? Then all of a sudden, if you're the Saints, you feel like, hey, we might have something here at the quarterback position. And not only would that make you feel better about your quarterback room for years to come, you might also start thinking, if this guy ends up being your starter at some point, that can absolutely help you as you try to become a little bit more financially responsible when it comes to your cap situation. So there's so many factors there. But obviously for Spencer, it's not going to be an easy thing. Like I said before, you go up against Todd Bowles, and then you got Vance Joseph's defense back-to-back weeks and on short rest. That could be tough. But man, I would be lying to you if I wasn't excited about this. I think this is absolutely the perfect skill set and showcase for him to show what he can do. And before I get into a little bit more about Spencer Rattler and why I think this is probably the most excited Saints fans are going to be in a long time, just want to get a quick word from one of our sponsors, Scott McNair.
And Jonathan Williams brings it all the way back from the 20-yard line.
What a terrific way to end the first half.
And tonight's game is brought to you by Scott McNair Injury Attorneys. They always fight for the win.
You mean attorney? It's one lawyer. Scott McNair?
No, there's 2.
Brad Scott and David McNair.
Well, it's confusing.
That it is. They could have picked a better name.
Scott McNair, Injury Attorneys, we fight for the win.
Once again, thank you, Scott McNair, for being part of the program. So for Rattler, and I mentioned it before, I think this is the first time that Saints fans in unison are going to be excited about who's under center. When it was Jameis Winston, not everyone was on board. When it was Taysom Hill, not everyone on board. Derek Carr, a lot of people at the start, but not everyone. And obviously we saw how quickly, the fan base kind of got divided over that. Spencer Rattler, and albeit it may not work out, this could be, a failed project for the Saints. I think there is that, game-changing potential that we all do see on display, and he is an unknown. And sometimes people rather kind of dance with the unknown than what they've already had. And I totally get that. So I think this is the first time in 3, maybe 4 years that Saints fans are all in agreement that they're excited to watch this kid play quarterback. Now, it really is a scary proposition. Not a great offensive line. Everyone's banged up. And now you got to play Tampa that's coming off extended rest while your team had short rest. That is scary. But man, if Spencer Rattler can go out there, play well, and leads the Saints to a victory, man, it would be quite the story. And I think you would see a complete turnaround from us fans on how we feel about the current vibe in the building. Because after 3 straight losses, obviously, you're kind of at an all-time low. Spencer Rattler has a chance now to kind of get us back to that high that we felt after the 2-0 start. So we'll see what happens with Spencer Rattler, but I think this is without a doubt the right move for the New Orleans Saints. I think Spencer gives them so much upside, and there is finally legitimate excitement about the quarterback position. How long it'll last? Only time will tell. But man, I really am pumped for his debut on Sunday. So I want to know what you guys think about Spencer Rattler being named the starting quarterback. Let me know in the comment section below. And if you haven't, guys, make sure to subscribe to Boo Crew Media's YouTube page. We're going to have our preview episode for Saints Bucks coming out later this week. We'll also have our halftime show powered by 4D, and then our post-game live stream, as we always do. All that will be here on the Straight Up Saints podcast, the destination for the Who Dat Nation.